Into our camera. All right. Hey, what's up, people? How y'all doing? So, welcome to another beautiful day of the COC finals, and I'm joined here with my main man Isaac. How y'all doing? How you feeling for today's games right here?
I'm doing very, very well. What about you, Act Fire? Are you feeling pumped? Are you feeling vibe? Are you feeling everything
Yeah, I'm
today?
feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. So we're about to get into the games right here. Um, just for a lot of people who did not remember what the leaderboard is like, let me just touch on that leaderboard quite quickly. What do you think about this, Isaac? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We're gonna see, things just be go absolutely wild. The teams are already gearing for, the places right there. They're getting into the games, and it is going to be one of those days that is going to be absolutely exciting. So let's get into the games and see where all of these teams are currently landing. So just taking a look at where everyone is going to play so far. Looking at that zone moving all the way towards that, I'd say it's moving towards that western region. What do you think about this so far? All right, so we're going to be seeing how all of these teams are going to be shaping up, moving all the way into that zone. But we already are seeing some action going on as the guys from TOS are getting into the mix themselves, getting into that early action. TOS is one of those clans that, they haven't been able to find a break so far within the COC. We've been seeing them get into, several different skirmishes, but somehow it just seems like they haven't been able to come out on top. Yeah, we'll see how that one continues to build out. As right now, they're in a fight with the boys from Free Esports, and you can see they had gotten a knock quite early on, but then Ramsey was able to get himself back up. Now, on the other end, it's now being turning on its head as they are the ones who will be losing one of the players, this player two, who has been gone down, and it's now been reduced to a 3v4 situation, and you can now see them trying as much as possible to see if they can battle it out, coming up against the guys from Free. Abubakar and his boys are trying as much as possible to see if they can get that extra bit of knock. Now, Ramsey was the one who was gone down, but then he was gotten back up, and now he has now gotten a knock all on his own. Yeah, absolutely. There was some TOS who were not looking quite great so far. And now coming back with the onslaught, you can see them getting the knocks right there. As you can see, player three does get one, not one, but two of those knocks, and the finish coming through. And now everything might be turning around for the boys from TOS. The bad luck might actually now be turning in on their favor. The boys from Free Esports are just left with Abubakar, who is, just holding his own in this building right there. He didn't join them on the fight, but maybe if he had, he might have turned things around for them in that one.
And now we see Free left with just Abubakar. And Abubakar right now is hiding in that building. That building is not going to be able to is who are gunning to kill
Yeah,
him.
we'll see how that one works. But actually, we did have a little bit of technical difficulty early on. I wasn't able to get your voice into the match. But now that has been fixed quite early. Thank God I noticed that quite quickly because people will be like, "Why are you being silent? Why are you being silent?" But anyways, that has been fixed now. All right, so we're now seeing Abubakar trying to hold his own in this position, but the boys from TOS definitely will come out on top. They do have, of course, one casualty in that particular one, but at the end of the day, it will be the boys from TOS coming out on top in that fight. We talked about them quite early on, not being able to take on their fights, but they were able to come out on top in that position. But now we're turning our sights onto the boys from PLATANO Power, who are coming up against Dark Ninjas. They do have one player who's been dropped down, but they're able to defend themselves in this position and make sure that they come out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that one continues to play out right there for the boys right there from PLATANO Power. But before I even do that, just continue talking. Continue talking. Okay. All right, guys. So I've noticed there's something.
It's a really gonna be trying to
okay, so okay. So I've noticed there's something up with.
All right, want to try big leagues there.
All right, Isaac. So I've noticed there's something up with your mic coming through from your mic on Discord is fine. Can you hear me? Yeah, your mic on Discord is fine, but the mic coming through from the other one has a problem. So I'm going to try now to see if I can get your mic from Discord instead of the other one. Let me just see if that is even possible. I think so. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be able to pull that off.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But if you want, I can switch to a different mic on the.
No, it's fine now. It's fine now.
On the
It's fine now.
OBS.
We're good now. We're good. Sometimes it's just like that. It's just like that. Those things just
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay.
It's okay now. I think everyone will be able to hear you now. But before here, like there will be some, complaints.
Typical.
No, dude. It's sharing our head off in charts. Obviously, like if I gotta read chat now, tears like meat.
I'm telling you. Look what's interesting here. All four of them are in one car. Imagine that car getting destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not one of my favorite cars for you to be in when you're trying to make those early rotations. Sometimes you just want to be in something else that would favor you. But speaking about being rotations, take a look at where that map is currently leading a lot of those teams towards. It's taking them towards that southwestern region, and we can now see them beginning to just make their way towards that spot. And we do have some teams who are quite close to each other. The boys from NSP as well as TR are hanging around the same regions.
This is so cool, the tunnel. I thought that was a very cool feature, to be honest. So right now, as you can see, PP or the Ruthless of Funcho right here in the fortress. I love to see this elevated thing. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's just a little bit more enhancement to the game. It makes the game feel a bit more, realistic as it should be. But I definitely want to see TR facing NSP, Retired Boys. A very, very good team. They're probably trying their possible best to get into the top 5 position here in the leaderboards. But the Ruthless guys have been absolutely ruthless on the NSPs. So they have had some very, very good run-ins, and most of the time the Ruthless seem to have come up on top.
Yeah, we'll see how that one continues to play out. Several different teams are now edging towards that center circle. We do see the boys right there from ATROX, who had quite a wonderful game yesterday, and they found themselves all the way up on that leaderboard, coming right close to the boys from Limited right there. So we'll be curious to see how that one continues to build up between these teams. As they will continue to see if they can gather those points. Remember that the boys from ATROX are looking to snatch that #1 spot all the way from the boys from TR, who are ahead of that leaderboard before this game started with just pretty much what is 1 point to go with. There's also the boys from OG. Now OG is another clan, that does, they kind of like give me mixed feelings, Isaac. Sometimes OG seems like, we're the best, we're like everything, don't challenge us, and sometimes it just feels like, something's not just clicking for them. But speaking about clicking, now they're beginning to pull up the onset right here as they're digging into the boys from Icon. You can already see that they've gotten that one bit of elimination and they're pulling through in this location. Looking to see if they can continue to get those eliminations coming through. Speaking about eliminations, we can see on the side there the boys from TOS are the ones who were leading the charge when it comes to that. But Icons are in a very sticky situation as they will find themselves getting pushed by the boys right there from OG, but they are just getting out of dodge. As you can see them just hopping into their vehicle. They've lost one of the players, and for now it's just survival for them.
It is all about, so sometimes you have to count your luck, and sometimes when luck is by your side, especially in such a battle where you could have easily died, sometimes you just have to get away, regroup and then rethink, maybe go for placement points, because everything kind of counts right now. This is the final. You do not want to miss any points whatsoever, so if it's not kills, you go for the placement points. So sometimes teams have got to be smart.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just take a look and see how that one's going to play out. For a lot of these guys, for those who are watching the game right now, I just want to ask, everything's okay? His voice is good. Okay, just confirm to me on the chat. All right. So the boys from OG, found themselves in a situation, right? They were trying to get themselves into that circle, but then it is Mr. Tinubu who just gets spotted by the boys from NSP, and it is Spalmer who is trying to see if he can get that elimination coming through, and it does look like he tried to be absolutely wicked right there and run him over with the vehicle, but now his teammate is not coming to provide that support, but he will get taken down as well.
What is quite interesting to see is the lineup of NSP is quite changed. Now they have joined by NSP Nail and Opanka. These are top players from the retired boys. Nail being the in-game leader of that team, and anytime he comes in with some brilliant rotations and some ideas. So definitely we want to be watching it to see exactly how they were playing this right now with OG Tinubu currently crawling to his death right now. He is getting protected heavily by his teammates there.
Yeah, we'll see how this one continues to play out. Now the boys from NSP are approaching onto this region, and Tinubu and his boys are trying as much as possible to see if they can stay alive in this position. But Chief will also now be going down. It's just left with Pedri, who was trying to get that revive coming through. But the boys from NSP are pretty much surrounded, and it will be Nell. We spoke about him quite early on, getting that final bit of elimination coming through. So the boys from NSP get those eliminations to keep on boosting themselves up on that leaderboard. And you can see right there, they do have 5 eliminations to their name, and a lot of things are happening right now, because you can see that the kill feed is just getting stumped over and over again. But now we're going to turn our sights onto the boys from 03. They have lost 2 players, the Nexus and Shiva, who have been taken down right here, but they're going in for that fight against the boys from PLATANO Power. They want to get the rest of the players. Remember, it is the boys from PLATANO Power who did take out a couple of their members. So they're now going in to see if they can continue this fight. Basically, just take out the rest of the players right there. Labist and Ace are absolutely trying to make sure that they can complete this fight, get those extra bit of eliminations coming through. And my goodness, it is getting really feisty.
It is getting really feisty. All 3 right now have lost 2 of their man, and right now I've got Ace and Labist, the only people who are alive there.
Yeah, absolutely. They get this extra bit of eliminations to their name, and you can see them now looking to see if they can grab themselves some extra bit of points as they are beginning to make the rotations. But there's also the boys from ATROX who are within this vicinity looking to see if they can do some deadly damage to them as well. And it is Ace who is currently in that position. Can they get one knock or two to take one of the players from ATROX down? They are absolutely outnumbered in this situation, coming up against a full squad from the boys from ATROX. Are they going to be getting away from this situation, or will they look to see if they can take on the fight against the boys? You can see the smokes coming through from Ace, and my goodness, Ace here, I mean, would you be, is this a move you would make, you know, just pull back away from this fight, or you think that O3 can take them on full hand?
100%. I think O3 will be ready for this fight. O3 brothers, as we've clearly seen in the past games they played, they are not scared to get into a fight. So clearly they will definitely want to come into this fight and trying their possible best to hold it down. But the thing is, H's have got a full squad, so that could potentially maybe instill some fear into them. But technically, if they have to fight, O3 brothers will be ready to fight.
Yeah, all right, so we continue to see how that one does play out. It does look at the boys from ATROX are in no mood to take on fights outside that zone. They are favoring making those rotations, and you can see that aimbot got himself into a position where he can now begin to send on the shots onto Labis, but will the boys from O3 got here and start to take on the shots? There's also Icon, who's also in the mix of things. I'll be curious to see how this one continues to play out for the rest of these teams. But Labis having quite a tough time trying as much as possible to see if he can evade the shots coming through. But it does look like that's exactly what is going to be happening, as they do find a way to escape from the ops right there.
Yes, indeed, and he's trying his possible best to get away from that fight there. Very good driving. At first, I was like, "Whoa, he needs to check his license," but you know, he was able to get away from that sticky situation that he found himself in right now. And you can clearly see TOS are settling in, NSP are settling in, and if you look at the map, you can clearly see how important the rotations are. I always tell teams that when they get to the final circle, it is not about the kills; it's always about the positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. But we spoke too soon, as the boys from O3 will lose a couple of, another player right there, as they are reduced down to pretty much what is a one-man right in this one, as they got caught up by the boys from you know, Terrorists. Terrorists are sitting down in that #1 spot of the entire leaderboard. Coming in, they've not been, you know, getting a lot of action in this particular game, but now we do find them, you know, getting into the mix right within that center. But speaking of back getting into the action, it was from ATROX, we're sitting down in that #2 spots, going up against Icons, and do clear them quite quickly and continue to boost themselves all the way up on that leaderboard. ATROX looking quite strong, and continue to see if they can rack this game through. We're down to 8 teams. We got 25 bodies left in this game. And how's it looking like for you guys?
It is looking very hard right now, because NSP are fighting TOS, Dream are fighting ATROX, Dream are fighting the Ruthless, and it's looking like the team that I want to be looking out for, especially looking at the situation right now, is definitely going to be TERRORSIX, because they are in a absolutely brilliant position they found themselves in right now, because nobody's behind them, everybody's in front of them. They have to tackle each team one at a time at this point, and right now you can see clearly that Nel, NSP, and TOS are fighting together with another team in Club of Ballers right there next to TOS as well, and so that could be a third party situation. Whoever gets the first shot can easily get third party. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams, or how these three teams in that circumference of the circle really behave. And now that the circle has moved into the western part of the map, it is looking extremely important how teams will rotate into the final circle right now, with TOS finding itself in a very sticky situation with about 2 or 3 teams next to them. How would they play this? This is when smokes are needed, Actfire. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see, you know, how it begins to play. Speaking about smokes, the boys from COB, as well as the boys from TOS, will be looking to make themselves into that zone. And definitely, I think, you know, that is what is going to make the difference for the boys right there from Tryout Squad. They've got to find a way to smoke their way into that zone, as they've got several different teams around them. Nell and his boys, like you spoke about earlier on, definitely a very strong powerhouse, looking to make sure that they take them out and along, you know, those edges right there. So it's going to be very difficult for the boys right there from TOS to find themselves into that zone. But here comes the boys from the Terrorists, you know, who are sitting down in that #1 spot on the entire leaderboard, now finding themselves in quite a great situation as they do hope to boost all the way into that zone. They've got pretty much what is an edge, but they've also got the boys from TR right on the corner all the way towards that western side, and on the eastern side they've got the boys from NSP who might be causing them, you know, a whole lot of trouble. We'll continue to see how that one plays out, but Nell's HP is quite low as the zone pretty much does a whole lot of damage to them as they are left with just a one man.
Terribly bad positioning there from NSP as we currently find TERRORSIX taking advantage of that situation that they found themselves in. And like I told you, Alpha, looking at the position of TERRORSIX, they are in an absolutely immaculate position. Everybody's in front of them. I always thought this is the ideal spot for you in the final circle, where everybody's in front of you and all you have to do is take each team one after the other.
Yeah, this is where the boys from Terrorists are now beginning to come alive as we can see them, you know, just taking on shots onto several different teams. They're getting those extra bit of eliminations coming through. They're currently sitting down with 4 eliminations to the name as they are sending on shots onto several different teams. The boys from TOS are also, you know, putting on those numbers on the board, but it is Terrorists who are keeping the numbers alive as they do have Jairus, they have King Tar, they have Iceberg and LB all up in this game, but Jairus is currently down. It does look like they might be able to get that revive because they do have the numbers to put that on board, but with the zone pulling up onto his location, it might just prove to be quite difficult for them. But we'll continue to see how this one does play out for all of these teams. You can see the boys from TOS are still somehow hanging on to their life in this particular game as they've got themselves quite a corner that they're working with, but with that zone making that shift right now towards that open field, this is where things now begin to get dangerous. But now here comes alive the boys from TOS putting up onto the boys from ATROX who are just within the vicinity next to the boys from Dream Team.
Yes, indeed. And right now, it looks like TOS are trying to get themselves into the better position around the map. They're staying on the edge of the map and trying their possible best to make sure that nobody gets behind them or tries to third party them. This is when blown up cars will become a quite essential fire, because if you have a blown up car right in the middle of the map, you can literally hold that particular space for a very, very long time. And the people inside the room, including Dream, are going to find themselves in big situations, because when the zone moves out of that place, you have to come off that building. And most of the time, people usually think it's good to be in the building when the final zone is in, but most of the time it is to their detriment.
Yeah, absolutely. The last player for ATROX getting sent out right there. Remember, ATROX was that team who was sitting down all the way on top of the entire, or in the second in the leaderboard just before the game started, as they do find themselves now beginning to lose a couple of their members. But speaking about losing members, you can see the boys from Dream Team dropping several different teams around them as they continue to send out the shots onto teams around the corner, and they are sitting down with 6 eliminations to their name as they continue to put on the onslaught towards those teams around. And it is looking quite great so far for the boys from Dream Team as they do have the numbers to count and can continue to boost all themselves up in this particular game. It is the boy right there, Rash, who is leading the charge with those 3 eliminations coming through alongside with the rest of his teammates.
Yes, indeed. And thank God they've got cars. They can easily move into that zone and make sure that they dominate that zone. Right now, Rush is currently moving towards TOS. TOS is literally facing TERRORSIX. And right now, LB has been taken down by player 3, who was thrown in a massive grenade in that space. He knows exactly where they are because player 0 is pinpointing. Right now, we see Rush also trying to stick himself around the zone to give himself some positional awareness, understand the terrain, and probably give call-outs to his team. Teammates.
Yeah, we'll see how this one continues to play out. Right now, you can now see the shots being let loose onto several different teams around as the boys from TOS lose another member. And right now, we're still down with 4 teams. We got the boys from TR, Team Ruthless, up against the Terrorist, you know, who are sitting down on the top of that leaderboard. They've got 5 of those eliminations coming through. All those teams are just
indeed. And right now, TERRORSIX are big trouble here because we've seen grenades come right at them, and right now the zone is against them as well. They have nowhere to go than to go around the zone, so they're in big trouble here. They might be going out. They might be going out.
Yeah, absolutely. They are in some really big trouble, and it's all down to, you know, who takes on the next aggression. The boys from TR as well, to have a player who's gotten dropped and TOS is also in some, pretty sticky situation. As you can see, Lazy is rotating around this position, and boom, down goes
Oh
M4.
my God. Oh my days. He ran him over. Oh my days. Dream Lazy ran him in over. Right now you can see TOS a big trouble here. This is so funny right now. Like what this guy is doing is so funny from the other side. If you can see Dream Lazy, he's got the car and he's running around trying as possible best to down everybody.
Dream Lazy just being very creative about how he goes about getting those eliminations coming through, but they do have the numbers and they know that it's working for them, as they are definitely looking to take out several different oppositions in their front. And now they have the boys from Terror right there looking, to see if they can somehow stop their onslaught. Several different teams have been damaged at different corners, but LB and King Tar are definitely not to be trifled with. But we'll see, what comes out of this particular one. I
think Lazy might be in trouble here because player 3, I definitely was seeing him right there. Was it player 3 or player 1? Player 0 from TOS was right there when Dream Lazy decided to jump down and somehow try to take down TERRORSIX.
Yeah, and it's a very sticky situation coming up against the boys from TERRORSIX. They're definitely sitting down in that #1 spot for a reason. And the boys from Dream Team who were looking like they had this in the back now lose one of the players. They're down to pretty much 3 players left in this particular game, and LB has definitely gotten triggered. But LB will get sent down and sent back into the lobby. Now the boys from Dream Team can capitalize on the numbers that they have. They have 3 players left in this particular game, and they can seal this one. It is 1 player for TOS and 1 for the boys from Terrorist, looking to see if they can get this game stolen away from the boys from Dream Team. If one of them can take down one of the members from Dream Team, they might just be able to turn this game around. And right now, speaking about it, it is King Tar who does come up and gets that 1 knock. Can that player right there from TOS get that extra knock onto Dream Team, and they might just be bottling this chicken dinner?
It is quite interesting because right now TOS's biggest prayer right now is that the 2 teams begin to fight, and he's just going to wait and see and hear where the fights are coming from, and probably try his possible best to angle at the and try and third party a particular team. So that's all he's praying for, and right now his prayers are being answered because they are all concentrated on Kintar, who just took out one of the players. So right now, that's going to be a very, very, very big blessing right now for TOS. Currently waiting to see what will happen next. Right now, whoever shoots first is most likely going to get third party.
Yeah, we'll see how that one continues to play out between these 3 teams right here. TOS player just being that Trojan horse, just waiting to see if he can get an opportunity and an advantage to shoot. But the moment that TOS player stands up, that probably will be the end. But that's exactly what he does. He stands up, he gets that 1 bit of elimination, and now is when things dent on its head. But that kill will get stolen by King Tar, who just came in at the right time and did not actually do the work. Now,
just like we predicted, whoever shoots first is gonna get third party, and Kintar just absolutely third party TOS there. Right now it's Dream Rash versus Kintar. Who takes the win right now is the battle of the grass versus the battle of the hay. Look at Kintar in the hay. We got Dream Rash in the grass. Who is it going to be? Kintar is now feeling very confident, bloodthirsty, making a move, and Rash is seeing him. But Kintar has absolutely been so lucky to find that haystack there. And I think, was that a grenade that was coming through? Was that a smoke? That was some other grenade, and Rash has got momentum. He has got momentum right now and is going to go for the final kill. Is it going to be it? Yes, indeed.
Oh, what looked like the boys from Dream Team were going to bottle it in a moment is them now getting those maximum points. So look at how many points they have right there. They got 21 points from that game. Absolutely beautiful stuff coming in from them as they were able to continue to rack those points coming through. But absolutely, you got to still give it to the boys from TOS as they did get themselves a whole bunch of eliminations coming in that 3rd place. They did gather 12 points in this game. We spoke about TOS a couple of times that they haven't been able to, get themselves into good positions, but somehow in this one they're able to grab those maximum points. We'll be right back for some more action in just after this little break that we're going to take. And when we come back, the first thing we'll do is to take a look at the current overall leaderboard and where all of these teams are now shaping up. And then we'll get into the next game. See you soon. All right, guys, welcome back into the Clatter of Clans. We're going to be going straight into the game and, joining up with the team. But before we do that, let's take a look at the current state of the leaderboard, where all the teams are currently placed. Looking at the boys from TERRORSIX Wakanda, they're currently leading with 55 points. And before the game started, they were leading with just 1 point, and they've been able to, just grab this extra bit of eliminations. What do you think?
And stay to the end of the game to get those important placement, because those are certified points. Rather than go for the kill points, you go for the placement points, because they'll be doing all of the killing before they got to the finals. So it's very important for them to just maintain their strength, maintain their position, and get placement points and a few kills just to maintain that top position. But for the other teams, they have got to be more aggressive now. They've got to really push their boundaries, and they've got to try and get more kills and try and get placement points as well.
Yeah, we'll continue to see how the teams perform, as they will be vying in for, getting in those extra bit of points. But speaking about trying to get those extra bit of points, look at the zone and where it's moving. It's staying towards that eastern region around Impala, La Bendita, and the rest. Even Minas as well. They're sitting down in that center circle with several different teams, just trying as much as possible to find their spot around Hacienda. Do have two teams, the boys from TOS, and they do seem to always find themselves in some trouble.
They love trouble. That's just what they are. They love trouble. But it's good for them, because right now they are trying to get themselves in the top 10 positions. So they've got to be aggressive. It's just what it is. They just got to be very aggressive, try and get themselves into positions where they can get kills and try and push the boundaries.
Yeah, we'll continue to see what that does mean for the boys from TOS, as they will be looking to see if they can grab themselves those points. They're coming up against the boys from Free Esports. Now, if you do remember, I'm not sure how this has happened between the two of them. They did meet themselves in that Erangel game at Severny, with the boys from TOS coming out on top. And now they find themselves with COB and as well as Free Esports. Now, these are the two teams in the last game that the boys from TOS took back to the lobby.
Yes, indeed, and I'm sure these guys will want to go for revenge, or TOS is want to go for dominance. So it's just going to be who gets to be happy after this fight. And this fight is definitely going to happen, because TOS is not a team that usually runs away from a fight and try to come back or try to move away and try to restructure themselves. They usually go straight into a fight. So it is very, very obvious. And even if another person in TOS doesn't want to fight, the player 4 or player 1 is definitely already getting himself close to a fight. So they have to come and support.
Yeah, all right. So we'll see how that one does play out, as they do find themselves edging close into starting the skirmish right here. Speaking about starting the skirmish, the boys from Free Esports and the boys from COB are just inching quite closer and closer towards each other's position, and the boys from Free Esports might find themselves pretty much in a center of two teams that might be looking to take them out. And I'm curious to see, how that one continues to build up. Several different teams are just edging quite close to each other. There's also the boys from Terra and the boys from PLATANO Power, who are within the same vicinity, and they might also find themselves in a sticky situation. Speaking about sticky situation, we'll take a look and see Dark Ninjas also getting into a fight right there with the boys from Terrorists. And you can see them dropping Collins down quite quickly.
Collins usually is the first person to go down in that team. I don't know. He's scares or something anytime. And what's crazy, he's always alone, Art. He is always alone. How is he always alone every time?
Yeah. Currently in this situation, he doesn't have his boys right next to him to provide him the necessary support, as they're currently at a distance right there. They've also got their own trouble to deal with, at Iceberg and Kintar also within their vicinity as well, so they need to fight through that one. There's also LB who's behind them, really close towards Ninja, looking to see if it can cause them some trouble, so they've got to provide some support with the numbers who are currently up. We'll see if that's exactly what they do decide to do. So two separate fights going on in this game, and it is LB who does get another knock coming through down to another Dark Ninjas player there.
And it is quite clear that how LB or how TERRORSIX have really positioned themselves. They are literally circling the enemy, making them feel that they have got to make a move, and then using that panicky the panicky situation from them to kill them. That's just basically what's happening. They're bringing them on one by one. As you can see, just how WF Collins died, Ninja now died. Now, yes, Daddy is alone, and Dark Boy is so far away from him. So they're just closing in on one person at a time and making it very, very difficult for them to defend themselves. But right now, the only thing that Dark Boy can do is try as possible best to try and get behind LB and take him out. Absolutely, as I predicted. That was a very, very good one there from Dark Boy, who came right behind to take down LB, and LB will be absolutely be fuming that just happened, and that would probably make TER a bit angry, and sometimes emotions can get a bit over you, will lose your thought processing, and that could potentially be detrimental to that team. But yes, Daddy and Dark Boy are very, very happy with the way the situation panned out. Dark Boy with that brilliant more like a flank to TER, and Iceberg is there using his third camera there, or his angle there, to try and understand exactly where the enemy is at. But right now, Dark Ninja is basically saying, this is our terrain, this is our domain, you have entered enemy grounds, so we would definitely try and take you out. That's basically what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely, it is what it is. There are several people within the chat who keep saying that I am mistaking terrorists for TR. No, that's not what I'm doing. Whenever I say ter, I'm actually pronouncing the TER and saying ter. But I guess you think that's me saying TR. I guess it's a pronunciation thing that's pretty much causing that confusion. But we'll see. But yeah, that hopefully does clear that up for you. I'm not confused. I know who's Team Ruthless and I know who is Terrorist. Okay, so there's no confusion anywhere right there. But speaking about getting into skirmishes, the boys from TOS and the boys from Free Esports do find themselves just pretty much in a separation so far, as they will be, just getting, giving themselves some distance. But on the other end, all the way in that northeastern side of the map, the boys from Dark Ninjas and the boys from TERRORSIX find themselves in a situation where it's a 3v2 with LB, who had gotten one bit of elimination coming through into one of the players, now getting sent back into the lobby. But the boys from Terrorist starting the game like they finished the last one with 2 eliminations.
Yes, indeed, but they have lost a man in that fight, and I think this is when you probably have to think twice and probably move into the zone and probably edge them on the zone, wait for them to make a move, and you can try and kill them, because there's no point trying to die for just 2 people, because you might probably die in the process as well. So that's why I say trying to die for 2 people. You probably want to be in a better situation or in a better position to try and get more placement and kill points there. But look at what is happening around Hacienda del Patron. It is what I call a club sandwich. We have got 2 teams sandwiched between TOS and Unlimited. That is definitely a double whopper right there. It's about to happen. It will be one hell of a clash.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, go on.
I've lost your screen there, Discord. I've lost your screen on Discord.
How's it?
There we go. Yeah. All right. So as we can see right now, Free Ramsey in a very, very sticky situation, to find himself in what I call the club sandwich or the double whopper. We've got 2 teams sandwich right now, and clearly club Cobb Zaza there, taken down by TOS player 4. Ramsey on his way, trying to possibly understand what's going on. And we've got TOS on the hill there. This is incredible stuff happening here. 3 people from Team Free have got to find themselves in a very, very big situation here, because how are they going to come out of this sticky situation unless TOS, who have found himself at the top of the hill, tries to kill everybody around Free? It's almost as if, let's just say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend at this point. That's just what it is. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. If you're coming into a territory where Free and TOS right now are, they would probably team up against you. That's what's happening right now. And so Club Soul is currently down by Limited, who is also third party Club So as well. So it's going to be a double third party for sure. But the thing is, not looking good for Free at all. And it's also not looking good for TOS because they will probably be getting themselves sandwiched as you see Free Rumsey trying to rotate around the zone there to get in behind the teams. But right now, Corp X is trying his possible best to take down player 3, and player 3 is currently down, and looks like Unlimited are pushing them very, very hard. It is looking very, very tough here for Unlimited as 2 men are down. They're scrambling to get into behind the car to get some res there. TOS having the opportunity to rest their player. TOS have been very, very active, and definitely they would definitely want that because they need those kills. They need those playpen points to try and get themselves into the top 10.
Yeah, we'll see how that one continues to play out for the boys from TOS as they do find themselves getting those extra bit of eliminations to come through. And they start in this game like they finished the last one. They do have just one elimination that has finally counted for them, but they've been getting into the ups right there as the boys from COB are continuing to send on the onslaught, but his teammates are providing him with a necessary cover, and it does look like X now will get dropped, and the confirmation is obviously going to be coming through. The boys from TOS putting in the work in this game and taking out several different enemies around them.
Yes, indeed. That is what I call coordination right there. Just when Cobbs was about to take player 3, he's seeking out his teammates to look at the direction he was getting shot from, and they downed club I think Zol or something, Zol or X or whatever. They downed him.
All right, so we'll see how this one continues to play out for several different teams. The boys from TOS coming out on top in that position as they have gotten themselves those extra bit of knocks coming through right now, as you can see them leading the charge right there with 3 eliminations. Actually, it's the boys from O3 who are leading the charge with 4 eliminations, but TOS doing quite well for themselves as they continue to see if they can get themselves into a good position within that circle. But speaking about the circle, it will be moving and keeping them within that spot around San Martin, Picado, and Graveyard, still within those regions. The player right there, the last one for COB, who got himself into quite a very sticky situation against the boys from TOS, now finds himself far away from, their position. All alone, it is COB guard who is pretty much just doing his thing, trying as much as possible to see if he can stay alive in that position. But you also got the boys from Free Esports who are also within that corner, as well as the boys from Limited. So we'll see how it continues to play out for all of these teams. But we're down right here within the game with 42 bodies, and it'll be curious to see who gets into the next bit of action.
Yes, indeed, and it is looking very juicy in the middle of the map there, as we see a lot of teams making way into the middle of the map. Free Rams are currently looking at TOS to see if they would push, just like I predicted, Art. If you remember, I said this is when TOS have got to be careful because Ramsey and Free were trying to encircle, they were trying to move behind them in the zone, and that could be very, very dangerous for TOS. But Ramsey cannot do that work alone. He's got to push completely in order to get that needed advantage to try and probably third party these guys, or probably sneak and give them a sucker punch. But he's got to do with his teammates there. So hopefully they are all together, and I think they are together. They've got to hold on each other's angles here. The zone is looking very, very interesting now. A lot of teams coming from the southern part of the zone as well. But right now, this is player 3 literally spotting what's going on. He's probably going to give his teammates one out there. And player 3 is almost taken down there by Ramsey. That is what I call a sucker punch. But Ramsey should have definitely gone for that finish. Make sure he took him down. But right now, he has been notified. And he has also notified his teammates. Hear me, this could not be looking good for Free, because right now they have got to deal with 4v3, and TOS are very much aware of their presence, so that might not be too good. However, that could easily change with one person getting down there as player 2 makes his way to around Jagaban.
Yeah, all right, so the players from from Free Esports had the opportunity to take down one of the players right there from TOS, but now here comes the onslaught coming through. You definitely have triggered them as the nade is putting up into that position. It does a whole lot of damage onto Ramsey, but is not able to get that knock right quite yet. Here comes another nade putting up onto that one, but it does evade the ops right there as Jagaban is also within this vicinity. A little bit of damage is done onto him, but he's not able to get that knock coming through. But I think that was an opportunity for Team 2, Player 2, to actually get a knock onto the boys right there from Free.
Yes, indeed, and sometimes situations like this are very, very tricky, especially the way Player 2 is playing. He's playing a bit away from his teammates, not as much as the way Free are playing very close to each other. So they've got to stay close so that when there's a trade-off, they could use their numbers to their advantage. But these guys, Jakaban is in an immaculate position there. If anybody makes an attempt behind the wall, he will be there to cover it up.
And we'll see how that one does play out for the boys right there from TOS, as they do have one player who's currently flagged that might just be able to cause some trouble coming through.
Ramsey have got an advantage here, the camera angle advantage here. He can probably use that, but Player 2 has got to be very careful. And I think Player 2 realizes exactly what's going on. Player 3 with their height advantage there, literally being the overwatch here. And Player 2 is down, like I predicted, too far away from his teammates. He is going to get grouped, and they will probably go for that finish. Ramsey looking at Player 0, and how on earth did Player 3 get all the way down there? How did he lose his advantage? That is terrible movement there from TOS, who found themselves wanting. They had every opportunity to make sure that they dominated as in Player 4 is moving towards Ramsey. Then Ramsey has got himself a bit of a height there to give himself an advantage. If TOS loses, they will be so disappointed in their movement here and in their planning. Player 2 finished by Ramsey, who is actually one shot too. You know them way there when you're actually one shot, but you still manage to gain the ability to finish a player. It tells you how desperate these guys are to survive this fight, and it tells you how very efficient they are working together as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. The boys from TOS lose another player right here in this one, as they do find themselves in a sticky situation. But now the zone also providing some support onto the boys from Trial Squad, as they will be looking to seal this fight coming through with the boys from Free Esports. So you can see the damage just coming through as they are getting dropped. And it looks like Ramsey is definitely going to be getting taken out.
Yeah, he's going to go. He's going to go.
Ooh,
and this is terrible from TOS, especially because how they allowed these guys to get right behind them, and now they've lost so much time to get into the zone. Now everybody's going to be waiting for them to come through the zone. Sometimes you don't have to necessarily get to the zone late, but sometimes you have to be very close to when the zone is moving, because all of those shots you are making, all of those aggressive plays right behind the zone, everybody's heard that, so they know exactly the angle you're coming from and exactly what's been happening right now, as Zero clearly is waiting for TOS to make a move, and easily they're going to take them out because it's no man's land. This is Mirama. You got to play Mirama a bit differently, and I'm very impressed to see that PP and NSP have got no kills because they're waiting for the final zone. And Mirama, you got to wait for the final zone to get a bit more aggressive, because it is usually no man's land. You do not want to find yourself being third-partied on Mirama, because chances are you are not going to survive it.
Yeah, you know, for me, regardless of whatever happens with TOS, I do think that they are playing, a lot better than they have been in, previous games. It does look like they're beginning to get into their rhythm and beginning to get a little bit more confident, and more of this from them, because the first game, we did see them get into that situation where they finished in the third place, but that didn't tell the whole story. They got a whole bunch of eliminations to their name. They started off this one, not quite as great as the last one, but they've got themselves some few eliminations to come through. They can move up on that leaderboard and come in the rest of the games with those extra bit of points. We'll see how that one goes. But speaking about points, the rest of the teams on the leaderboard are gearing in to continue to get those eliminations coming through. The boys from 03 sitting down with 5 eliminations, and taking a look at where the map is currently moving, a lot of these teams, you can see right there that we're currently sitting down in that stage 5, as these teams don't have a lot of space to work with. The boys from TERRORSIX still holding 2 of the players. It is Iceberg and King Tar. And they'll be looking to see if they can take all shots onto several different teams around them.
Yes, indeed. And look at Qatar is definitely spotting Dream, and he is not gonna let these guys get away for sure. It looks like if these guys have decided to come off the car, because now they've got to fight a Qatar who is very, very hungry for kills. Zero Rock on the top of the hill as well, and this is one thing about Miramar that everybody usually doesn't usually do, that is trying to pick up altitude. You have to pick up altitude in Miramar, because usually no man's land is a desert, is a big plain ground. You have got to always be in a positional advantage to get a lot of kills, and that is exactly what we're seeing from OG and from Zero.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We'll see how this one continues to work out, as several different teams around this region are looking to see if they can capitalize on that move. You can see the shots coming in from King Tar as he's sitting down with 2 eliminations to his name. They keep on putting in the work onto so many different teams around this region. But speaking about teams around this region, the boys from NSP are also getting tested by the boys from Team Ruthless right there in front of them, looking to see if they can wipe them and take them out of this particular game. The boys from NSP are hanging on to their life, to looking in to get NL back into this game right there, and to get Nell back into this game right there. Nell MVP, of course. We spoke about him quite early on. He's that really smart player. He's been in this game for quite some time. He's the OG who is looking to see if he can get himself those extra bits of, you know, eliminations coming through.
Wow, what a nade there coming in from the Ruthless Leo there, and right now Panka is down. Nail is also down. Spama be the only person alive right now, and it is looking like retired boys are outnumbered. It is quite clear that right now Spama is going to be their only hope. I doubt Spama is going to be able to hold this down with that AK on that stairs, but let's see. Oh my god, he says, hold my beer, Einstein. I'm going to show you what I'm all about. He takes down 2 people. Spama, the giant. Can you imagine? This guy is actually 7 foot. I'm not even kidding you. He is actually 7 foot, and he's showing his prowess here. He's cooking up that grenade. That could be detrimental to Team Ruthless. Oh my goodness me. He's cooking up another one. He's going to try and get in there, because that will be so key to him right now, that he can get this kill, this elimination that he needs so much. And he gets one down. He's trying to go for the second one with that AK at short range, and the Ruthless are absolutely fuming that somehow he comes in and Spama is taken down. Oh my days, what a run in there from Spama.
Yeah, absolutely really close in that particular position. He almost was able to pull it off against several different players around him. But Team Ruthless, who just finished the fight, that was a close call, do find themselves in another position where the boys from Terrorists are also now beginning to try to see if they can take them out. There's also the boys from PP who are getting themselves into those skirmishes coming through, and we'll turn our sights onto the boys right there from coming up against 03 brothers, trying to keep their hopes alive in this game. They're in a very tight spot as they've lost Shiva. They've got several different teams around their region, and they're looking to see if they can continue to boost themselves up. It is the boys from 03 sitting down with 3 of those eliminations, and it is not looking quite great for so many different teams around this particular position. We'll see how that one continues to play out. But 03 brothers, they've got themselves some lovely eliminations right here.
Yes, indeed. And they're playing it very, very well indeed. You can clearly see the way they are holding on to the circle. Nexus has got himself a car there. He can probably rotate if he has to rotate. So that is looking really, really good there for all 3 brothers. How are Kintara this team is gonna play? That's gonna be interesting to see, because they want to keep their position up on the top, and right now they've got no ATROX there. They've got I think the team closest to them is ATROX or so they don't have anybody here who is close to them, so they will be very happy to be finding themselves in such a situation where everybody behind them is actually dead.
Yeah, absolutely. They have several different teams around the region, but the boys from Zero do have the hill advantage in this one. Everyone's pretty much at that edge. But here's the thing: if the zone moves towards that position where the boys from Zero currently situated at, it might give them a whole bunch of opportunity. But it does look like that's not going to happen. They do have to continue to move all the way up into that edge of the zone. They might still be, be blessed with that heal advantage if they continue to push down in, but that might also expose them and they might be getting some knocks coming through onto their side. But we'll see how that one does play out, Isaac.
This is quite interesting, especially for Zero, because they had the advantage. Now they are disadvantaged because they have to jump down. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to jump down or they're going to try and descend swiftly. And right now, it looks like Zero Walker is taking down Funcho there, and that could be very, very, very good there for Zero as they trying their possible best to use that hail advantage they've got there to the best use possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how that one continues to play out for all of these guys. But now here the shots coming through, and the boys from Zero, who did have what was a good advantage coming through, are now getting taken out by Nexus. But what's Nexus doing? What? Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh, man,
that was scary. And now he is down.
And that wasn't the right move. I don't know. Like going into the zone, maybe that was a mistake, but I don't know. It was looking like they could definitely have sealed this game through, but now they've lost that one man, especially the boy right there, Nexus. And now the boys from PLATANO Power will be trying as much as possible to see if they can take them down along this corner. And
it's going to be interesting to see exactly how PLATANO plays this right now, because they kind of have a very good position there. Hopefully Zero Walker does not see them and take them out using that hail advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you can see them just trying as much as possible to play within those edges to make sure that they do keep their hopes alive in this one. The boys from Zero, you know, still trying as much as possible to take maximum advantage of this heal, and it is Karma and his teammate who are holding what is quite a favorable position on top of this hill. But can they spot the rest of the ops right there who are down there? It's a 2v2 situation coming through between the three of them, and it's a quite difficult one for them to notice. It might just go down to that very last pinpoint, stage 9 within this zone. We've seen it happen a couple of times, and so now
this is looking detrimental for Zero right now. If they don't destroy everybody from that hill, they will die. So right now, it is very important, very, very important for all three brothers and PP to stay alive. All they need to do is stay alive, because Zero have got to jump one way or the other. So they know if they stay alive and head in those corners, Zero is currently dead. So right now, it's just going to be between all three brothers and PLATANO, because Zero are dead if the zone moves. So you just have to stay alive.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as they manage to, stay alive, they do give themselves the opportunity to, seal this game through. But speaking about staying alive, you can't see right now the boys from PLATANO Power are trying as much as possible to make the move onto this location where the last player right there for 03 is currently situated. It is Ace who's trying as much as possible to see if he can hold it down for his brothers from 03 who were looking like coming into this final circle. They were pretty much the ones who had the advantage, but it is now looking like they might get taken out right here. But here comes, the ideas moving into Mike's head as he might just be deciding to send a nade, onto that position where Zero Walker is currently at. But will they get there? All right, so here it goes. Trying to pop in the nade onto that spot. But it definitely doesn't catch on. Zero still on that hill. And that's where things are getting quite serious as the boys right there from PLATANO Power trying as much as possible to keep stay alive in this one. They do get that extra elimination to come through. And now it's a 2v2. It is the boys from Zero coming up against the boys from PLATANO. Zero about to make the move. Walker jumps down, but he does get affected. Remember that you did speak about them getting affected, and it looks like that will definitely be the end as the boys from PLATANO Power do win that one and grab home the winner chicken dinner. All right, Isaac, you with me? All right, guys, it does look like Isaac has some bit of technical difficulties, as he did mention that he would have earlier on, and that's exactly what it is. But anyways, regardless of the fact, we will be going into a quick break. We'll be right back for some more action. We still got about 2 games to go. I'll see you in a couple of moments.
Well played. Bullets! Just coming from where he's one player does go down, but Hazard is good for him as he takes him down. He's not going to behave, he's not going to succumb to that.
After the other, but the citizens running through the guys from both three brothers Bego. And the shots continuing to linger.
Oh, 3 down for Reels!
Getting dropped. Reels too, B. Yep. You can see the vector starting to pop right up on Hammer has.
Hey, what's up, people? So we're back. We're about to get into the next game of the night. So how y'all doing? Hope you've been enjoying the game so far. And it has been super exciting. We see so much action coming down from all these teams. Well, now we're about to move into the next game of the night. We do have it in the next game is going to be a Sandhog game, but before we go into that, we'll be taking a look at the overall leaderboard and see where all of these teams are currently positioned and situated at. Let's take a look. So Isaac is having some technical difficulties, and he's not going to be able to continue to be with us for the night. So it's just going to be me for now. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. All right, so looking at the leaderboard, we do have the boys from TERRORSIX currently leading the chart right there, but PLATANO Power are coming in right there in second, looking to see if they can snatch up that #1 spot. They are now just 4 points behind the leaders. So you can see that they have put in the work to continue to build up right there with that winner chicken dinner that they had in the previous game, and all of these teams are pretty much just sharing the spoils. But speaking about spoils, let's just get into the game right here. Several different teams are now beginning to, just get into the action. And speaking about the action right there in that central spot, we do see the boys from COB and Dark Ninjas going toe-to-toe against each other. All right, so here it begins. The boys from Dark Ninjas are looking to see if they can take out the boys from COB, and it is God who sends out the shots onto this position, but God's definitely going to get dropped by Ninja. And here is where things are beginning to get absolutely interesting, because the boys from Dark Ninjas are continuing on with their onslaught against the boys from COB, who are finding it quite hard to hold on to their life in this position, and it's not been quite easy for them as they're down to the last guys. It's just X who is actually alive within this position, but he's got himself that DBS that can prove to be quite useful. But he does miss his shots, and definitely it's not going to work out for him. But speaking about being, getting into some action right there, you do have the boys from Team Ruthless who are not allowing the boys from Dark Ninjas to rest in this one, as they do come in just immediately after they're done with that fight to come and try to see if they can get those extra bit of eliminations coming through, with the boys from Dark Ninjas having one of the players currently knocked down. And it's not looking quite favorable that this fight is going to turn their way. Here comes the boys from Ruthless, know me, coming in right there. They do get that elimination coming through, and Collins will get sent back into the lobby. Ninjas are down to just 2 players more. And yes, that the Ninja gets taken down. Yes, that is the last one. Hopeful for his team. Can he find something, a rabbit out of the hat? He's trying to get that here just in time, but they pull up into his location, and they seal that deal for the boys for Ruthless, and they do have themselves 3 eliminations to come through. The boys from DN who came into this game taking out the boys from COB also get themselves taken out quite early as well. And earlier on within the game, we made some mistakes on the, should I say, made some mistakes on the, you know, on the menu on the side, and I had said finals day 1. It's actually finals day 2. So yeah, we've changed that now. It's been corrected. Let's get back into the action. Speaking about the action, the boys from OG currently now getting into the mix. They had one of the players who got knocked down, and it was Cole and Chief who were getting you know, pretty much shots sent your way. Now trying as much as possible to see if they can repel the attack coming in for the boys from RUTHLESS right there. You can see one of the players getting sent down, but here's where things now begin to get interesting. If they can get another knock coming through, it might just turn things around. But Cougar is the one who would actually get a knock into the boys from OG. But here comes the move right there from Chief. Chief looking to see if he can, you know, continue to hold up the boys from Team RUTHLESS for the rest of his teammates to get that revive coming through. Icons are also looking around this region. It does look like everyone wants to pull up onto this position, and over and over again, the two teams are just going toe-to-toe against each other. But an elimination has come through for the boys right there from TR. That would definitely be courtesy of Pedri, who does have a flank position. He's the one who might cost them a lot of trouble. Right now, it's a 4v3 situation coming through between the two of them right there, as they are looking to see if they can continue to battle their way in this one. But here's what it is. The third party is also now beginning to come through, as about some icons are pulling up into this location, looking to see if they can still a bunch of eliminations right here in this one. But Chief and his boys are also pulling up onto this vicinity. They want those extra bit of kills. They don't want their kills getting stolen, but with Icon in the mix, it might cause some trouble for the boys from OG. This is where they got to be careful. The shots now beginning to lay loose as Chief goes outside and gets himself into a whole lot of trouble. But can those revives come through in this particular position? Can the boys right there from OG somehow get the revives that are necessary and bring back their man up? Icons find themselves in a situation where they can get a whole bunch of kills, but ooh, so now CR getting into the mix, getting this extra bit of eliminations. Cole gets dropped as well. No me. Continue on with his onslaught as he does get those extra bit of knocks coming through in that position. At the boys from OG were looking like they were going to seal this one through, but all of a sudden, now they are the ones who are on the back foot. But some TR do manage somehow to stay alive in this particular game. They've got icons within their vicinity lurking around and looking to see if they can get those eliminations coming through, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And Nomi and his boys do have 6 eliminations to their name. Team RUTHLESS being absolutely RUTHLESS, living up to their name so far. But it looked like at some point they were getting circled around by the boys from OG. But all of a sudden, it will be the boys from OG who do lose a couple of the players. Courtesy of Icon coming in and providing that necessary disturbance right in that moment when Chief got taken out as he went out. Some would say that probably that wasn't the best decision for him to go into that position where he did hear some teams. But you never really know, as you might have been confused if that was all happening from the same one team. Alright, so remember, viewers, don't be shy to like the stream. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's get things going. Let's get the likes and the views going up. Alright, if there's any problem with the stream, you know, the mic or whatever it is, don't hesitate to let me know. Don't hesitate to let me know, you know, immediately. Yeah. Alright, so within this position, the boys from Icons are still lurking around, looking to see if they can get into the action. You see them, they have now shifted all the way towards that center of boot camp. I said Pachinki. We're sending on the shots onto Cougar and his teammates, but not being able to get any knock. Obviously, be looking for that entry knock. But speaking of pushing, the boys from Dream Team are also looking around outside that boot camp region and can be looking to see if they can send on shots onto this position, and it might prove to be quite dangerous for the boys from Icons, because while they were doing the third party themselves, they might now be the ones to get third partied, and it does look like Cream is actually moving towards that direction where they're currently located at. Alright, so both CR and the boys from Icons are just deciding to take things quite easy. Those are the boys from Dream Team who are not so far away from this whole vicinity. And obviously it's Lazy who has sights onto Sprinkles, Georgie, and the rest right there within that center, looking to see if he can get those eliminations coming through, and then they can now begin to make their push onto that location. But with the Icon situated quite comfortable, all of them, you know, just burying their heads right here in this position right here in boot camp. They're not looking to see if they can make that full push. They've heard the action that has been coming through. The boys from TR are just taking it quite easy for now, and you know, just trying the most as possible to see if they can, you know, find that one knock, that entry knock into the next team and begin to make their push. Everyone's just being really quiet. So let's take a look at the map and see where all of these teams are currently situated. Okay, that's the world leader. Alright, we can see that zone shifting all the way towards that position right there in boot camp. With several different teams now beginning to rotate towards that region. The boys from O3 are also outside that vicinity, as well as the boys from Dream Team. So all of them might be just converging around towards that center as we are shifting into the next part of the zone, and that's definitely going to determine a lot of things. Obviously going to keep an eye onto several different teams like O3 who might be getting into several different skirmishes just at the edge of that zone. They've got several different teams in front of them right here, as the boys from Dream Team, the boys from LTD are also around this vicinity. Boys from Unlimited getting into the action right there with the boys from Terrorist. As Terrorists continue to live up to their name, do take out one of the members. Actually, it's two of the members who are currently down. You can see LB continuing on with the onslaught right there as he does put Spiky down to the ground, and they're all looking to see if they can get those extra bit of eliminations coming through. Iceberg, LB, King Tar, and Jarus do also have the boys on 03 just in front of their vicinity right here, and are looking to see if they can provide some extra bit of magic that might just enable them to take out a couple of those teams. But here comes Shiva. He's got to be careful. He's got Unlimited in front of him, and he's also got the boys right there from Terror, the boys from Terrorist, you know, in those buildings who don't miss. They don't miss. They always looking for the juggler of several different teams around them. But let's see how it goes. Speaking of getting the juggler of several teams around you, you can see Shiva. He is the one making that push. He's the one, you know, looking for that entry knock. Obviously, he's the fragger. He's the man, the myth, you know, who is looking for that one opportunity. All right, so here it comes. Several different teams around this vicinity. Unlimited, you know, just taking it quite easy up on that hill. not looking for a lot of trouble right now. The boys from 03 Brothers will just be rotating away from that spot. There's also TOS who's also not too far away from them, but it does look like everyone's just trying as much as possible to stay quite calm for now. But we are down to 12 teams and 41 bodies left in this lobby. You can see the boys from 03 Brothers just retreating to an angle where they would then now be favored. TR also, who found themselves in that bootcamp region, have also rotated out of it to find themselves in pretty much what is a better spot of their own. And the boys from Team Ruthless are currently sitting out in this position with just 2-3 members of their squad, and you can see Nomi trying as much as possible to see if he can scout around to find a good spot that they can call home. They do find themselves that edge. All right, so the shots now beginning to let loose as the boys from TOS now beginning the game as they finish the last one, getting a couple of knocks coming through. But speaking about knocks coming through, several different teams are just inching quite closer and closer towards each other, as we do see the boys from NSB trying as much as possible to stay alive, but it will be PLATANO Power who do come alive in that particular position and do get those eliminations coming through. But now the boys from TOS are actually capitalizing on that. They have the sights onto the boys from PLATANO and are sending the shots their way as they do continue to put a couple of them down to the ground. And you can now see that things are beginning to get absolutely wild. But there's also Terror. And I've ruled them out coming up against Unlimited, as they do get that extra elimination coming through again. The boys from Terror is getting 6 of those. They have 3 of those eliminations coming through. It's actually Ruthless who does get 6 eliminations. They've got the boys from PLATANO Power right there in front of them, who are looking to see if they can snatch away that #1 spot from the boys from TERRORSIX. And now here's where the boys from TERRORSIX have got to be absolutely outstanding, because they're rotating along the paths of the guys who want to take the #1 spot. And this might just be the opportunity for the boys from PLATANO. The zones making this push towards this region and sending on shots onto their position might just turn things around. TOS also coming into the mix of things as well, sending shots their direction. And you can see M4 and the boys are looking to see if they can get those extra bits of knocks coming through, and LB and the boys who are sitting down in that comfortable position at #1, 20 points away from #3 on that entire leaderboard. We'll be looking to see if they can get those eliminations to continue to boost themselves up, but with the boys from TOS sitting quite comfortably within this build and sending shots their way, they might just prove to be quite difficult for them. Now the zone's making its move. Iceberg sealing that zone. And what a time for all of these guys. There's also the boys from TR getting into the mix right there with the boys from 03 as Shiva. Let's get put down to the ground. And here's where everyone's beginning to find things difficult. Iceberg's trying to get himself into that zone, but the zone's doing the damage. M4's just waiting. It's just waiting. Is it gonna show his face? Is it gonna come out? If he does pull out into that position, player 4 will certainly drop him down. But he takes his side away. What's he doing? He takes his side away, and that might just give Iceberg the chance to pull into that zone. You can see him just waiting. He's being impatient, but here's where things might be turning around. With LB just getting another angle, he might just be the one who does take player 4 down, and player 4's got to be really smart. He's hanging around this door, and there's also LB within that region. LB could drop him. He's got to be careful. He's getting too cocky. The shots can begin to fly down his way. You can see the shots now being sent down his direction, but the play zone is now finally done the work on Iceberg. Dangerous stuff coming through. King Tar trying to get into the zone right next to M4. You see that nade doing a little bit of damage, but was not enough to take him down. But the nade is not what will get him. It will actually be the play zone who will take him down. The boys from TOS continuing on with their wonderful game. But now here comes LB. He's the last one for his team. He's making all those shots. He does get that elimination. Turns the sights onto another player right there for TOS. But it will be TOS player 0 who does get that elimination coming through. And here's where it's now beginning to turn on his head, because with the boys from TERRORSIX getting sent out of the game quite early on in this one, it does leave the opportunity for the boys from PLATANO Power to seal this game through. They can snatch this game away. PLATANO Power have it all to do right here, but they're also in quite a very sticky situation as well. They've got the zone to zone. They've got shots being sent their way, and Laz gets dropped down to the ground. It's just left for me to somehow keep their hopes alive in this game. They do have themselves 6 eliminations. They're pretty much just getting bleeding out outside the zone. They've got the boys from ATROX in front of them as well as the boys from Dream Team. And Mig, you're gonna find it quite dangerous as Valeria and the boys are all up on that hill. Dream Team also beginning to do a lot of damage onto the boys from ATROX. They are pretty much just sending all the shots that way in their direction. Here's where everyone now begins to get triggered. It is Valeria who's coming into the mix. Remember, they were sitting down in the number 2 spot before the game started, but they've now had quite a day now. They're sending on shots into several different teams around them. They do get that extra bit of elimination. 4, 5 to go to count, and the numbers and the bodies keep dropping around them, and they're looking to see if they can seal this game through. They might just be able to boost all the way into that number 1 spot. They currently do have the eliminations to count, and 5 more of those eliminations, and they might just find themselves right next toe to toe with the boys from TERRORSIX all the way up on that leaderboard. Remember, the boys from Terror have been sent out of the game. Here's what it is. ATROX sitting down with a maximum amount of buddies in this game. They're doing quite well for themselves, but there's also the boys from TR who do have those 10 eliminations to come through for them. They continue to send on the shots onto several different teams around them. But here's where the boys from TR are having it quite dangerous for themselves, as Nomi and Cougar are pretty much just getting stalked right there by Rush. And he's just waiting for that one opportunity for them to show their face into that zone, and boom, he gets to push. Trying to line go to that zone, but he will get dropped by aimbot, and Rash will be the one stealing that kill right there. But Rash will be looking to see if he can turn his sights onto the boys right there from ATROX, as ATROX has been getting the eliminations coming through over and over again. Easy on the rest of the boys. So Curtis sitting down with 8 of those eliminations, and now they jump down to see if they can seal this game. Lazy put in the work, but at the end of the day, it will be the boys from ATROX who do seal that game through and get the winner chicken dinner. Lovely stuff coming through from the boys right there from ATROX. Alright guys, we'll be taking a quick break, and we'll be right back for some more action immediately after the break. And I'll see you in a couple of moments. See you soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will now be getting into our final game of the night so far. We've seen some action go down in the entire lobby. Before we do that, let's take a look at the entire leaderboard and see where all of the teams are currently situated. All right, we do see the boys from TERRORSIX still maintaining all those points right there on top of the leaderboard, but Team ATROX is hot on their tails as they have now gotten themselves 61 points. And so many of the teams are looking quite great in this one. But let's take a look at the flight pattern where it's currently leading us through. It's got right through that center as we do see all of these teams basically trying as much as possible to see if they can get into great spots. With the boys from ATROX trying as much as possible to see if they can gather that top spot from the boys right there from Terrorist Squad. They are looking and edging quite closer and closer to achieving that on the second day of the COC Season 17 final. Sometimes when I think about that, it's like Season 17 we've had that much finals so far. Definitely great job to the boys from Unsullied Army for hosting these competitions over and over and over again. But speaking about hosting the competitions, right here on board with us, we do have the boys from Dream Team and the boys from COB, just landing within that position within military base. We'll keep an eye and see, how that one is going to continue to build out. With that zone now shifting towards that western side, all of the teams will now be looking to see if they can get themselves into a good spot. Several different teams are already beginning to make their way all the way around St. Bernard. We do have the boys from Free Esports coming up against I'm trying to see if I can get the iPad stream back up. Acting up. Gonna be getting the iPad streamed. Get back up. That's what I'm doing right now. So just a moment while I do sort that one out. Like getting back up. I'm trying to make sure I fix this. I'm currently focused on trying to fix the iPad because something definitely wrong with it. Sure what exactly is wrong at this moment in time, but definitely off. So just give me a couple of try to sort. While you continue to enjoy the fight going on between the boys from Free Esports and the boys from TOS once again. Alright, it does look like we've been able to sort that one out as we have now gotten that back up. In the meantime, before we continue that, we're going to just go through this fight right here. The boys from Free Esports going up against the boys from TOS. And it does look like Free Esports is also now beginning to feel the hurt again with Rumsey down to pretty much 1 HP. Jagaban and Rufai have been gone down. TOS is now putting up onto this vicinity. That's what it is. Mondo looking to see if he can take out that player right there from TOS. He's coming in with the vengeance, looking to see if he can get that extra bit of elimination. The rest of his players currently knocked down. It's just left to player 0. Somehow finds this game quite late. He does get another bit of elimination coming through in this particular position. Mondo coming in, trying to get that knock. He gets another one all by himself, but Mondo will be getting that final bit of elimination. The boys from Free Esports coming in with the vengeance right there and do get themselves the eliminations to seal this game through. That's also going to buy me some time to just check on, you know, the entire iPad audio to make sure everything is quite good on that end. And times OBS and all these things can just be a nightmare, you know. It can be an absolute nightmare, you know. You don't know what you're doing. It can be the worst. But we've gotten him back up. Okay. Okay. Everything seems to be okay again. So we're good. Okay, all right. This is what it is. The boys from Free Esports winning that particular fight and getting themselves into what is quite a good position. And let's take a look at where the zone's currently pushing several different teams towards. We do see the boys from Dream Team and NSP just edging quite closer and closer towards each other along those bridges all the way in that southwestern region. It does look at the boys from NSP will be the ones to, you know, discard to get out of dodge of that one, just getting themselves out of that position where they might be taking a fight quite early on. We have seen the boys from TOS getting taken out by the boys from Free Esports, and you know, it wasn't quite that day yesterday, but today they came back with a vengeance. They got themselves, you know, those bit of eliminations to continue to boost themselves all the way up on that leaderboard, and here's where things now begin to get super exciting, super interesting. So do apologize for the technical difficulties we had early on in this particular game. It does happen sometimes to be that way, but let us now continue on with this one and see how things are going to progress. We do have the boys from OG, the boys from Icons rotating along the same paths with the boys right there from COB, and we're curious to see if they do get themselves into a skirmish as they are rotating along this same path, coming in from that southeastern region. You can see all of them just situated around very similar regions. The boys from NSP have found themselves moving all the way towards that more central position, and it is God who finds himself quite close to the ops right there as Pedri does go down. And now are we going to see the rest of the players right there from COB beginning to make the move? We can see Tinubu just coming down right next to X and So. The boys from OG looking to see if they can make the move into this position, but the shots now beginning to fly onto their position, and it is Zaza who's looking to make that move. The nade might be getting let loose right here by Tinubu onto that position where Soul is currently at, and X has got a flank. He's now sending on shots onto the boys right there from OG, but they're also able to get themselves that heal coming through. They do spot a player right there from Icon, and now beginning to send on the shots onto that position. But here's where the onslaught now begins to come through. As Tinubu pulls up onto this location, he's looking for that elimination. He does get that elimination coming through right there as the boys from COB find themselves in a very sticky situation coming through against the rest of the players right there for COB. And now it is COB left with just the one. Is Zaza who's left in this one, trying as much as possible to keep their hopes alive as God gets sent, taken back into the lobby. Zaza somehow keeping their hopes alive. I think he should just continue going into the zone. Well, maybe he wants to, get some extra bit of loot. All right, so there was some OG currently, leading this charge when it comes to the amount of eliminations they've got. It is Chief and Tinubu who put up a strong fight in this position, and now they do find themselves within that edge of the zone, and they're looking to see if they can continue to rack up those extra points. But speaking of points, taking a look at that map where all these teams are currently situated at, as they will be looking to see if they can get in on those action. So many different teams already sitting quite comfortably within that zone as we are still in that stage 2, and all of these guys are looking to see if they can continue to now move in. But speaking about stage 2, it's moving all the way towards that stage 3. It's not like the Mirama map goes all the way towards that stage 8, because these teams are going to be absolutely in that open and they're talking to each other. But here's where it is. They've got to get into the mix right here. Now the boys from Unlimited are approaching that position where Zero is currently sitting quite comfortable, and we'll be curious to see if they all get into several different skirmishes around. There are different teams. Even the boys from Dream Team are rotating around Obito. You can see them just lurking around this region. There's the boys from Unlimited do find themselves quite a position, but they might just be deciding right here to take on this fight coming up against the boys from Dream Team, and it looks like it's going to happen. Might just start to send on the shots, but on the other end, it is the boys from Zero who are noticing the boys from Dream Team just rotating around the vicinity, and they're sending on warning shots towards them. But there's also ATROX, who is also getting into skirmishes of their own, as they are putting on the work onto the leaders of the leaderboard. If you're looking to take out on anyone, it's definitely taking out the boys from Terrorists, as they turn the sights onto Iceberg. They've got in that knock coming through, and they're looking to see if they can get that elimination, and that's exactly what they do right there, as Easy or Bugsy actually does get the elimination, but Easy getting a confirmation coming through in that position. Zone's now forcing a lot of teams to beginning to rotate all the way towards that region around Quarry. You can see the boys from PLATANO not too far away from Terror and the rest as well. And here comes the eliminations coming through as they do get themselves another buddy dropped. And the leaders of the entire leaderboard are now beginning to feel that her, LB and his boys have got to find a way to get the rabbit out of the hat and keep their hopes alive for this particular game as the shots are being let loose. King Tar being done a lot of damage. He almost got taken down right there. But G escaped that one just in the nick of time as the rest of his players will be getting dropped down. LB, Jarvis, and the rest are currently bleeding out. King Tar just escaping with his pretty much last HP. Now the shots are flying down this direction. He sees he's going to somehow stay alive in this game. We're going to stay with King Tar until he finds a spot of his own or somehow manages to stay alive. Will he survive? They are the leaders of the leaderboard. They deserve our respect. But let's see. It does look like he's found himself a spot that's going to work for him. The shots are flying down this direction. So somehow the terrorists have found a way to stay alive, definitely. Even their hopes are alive in this one as they do get themselves some shack to work with within that zone just south of everyone. There's a lot of teams who are currently outside this zone still fighting things out. Obito found himself in some trouble with the play zone. Do you get those extra bit of knocks coming through? There's also NSP getting into the action right there as they do find themselves up against the boys from Free Esports. It's two of them going toe to toe against each other. They're trying as much as possible to keep their hopes alive as Dagger Ban is the one who will be trying to see if he can stay alive in this game. But Mando has got to heal himself as there's several different ops within his region, and it does look like this might just be the end for them in this one as Palmer is pulling up onto this location. He does get that confirmation coming through with the boys from NSP losing two of the members, getting 2 casualties in that fight. But at the end of the day, now then the boys will definitely be coming out on top as we are now down with 10 of teams left and 33 bodies. There's been a lot of damage onto several different teams. I'm curious to see how this one continues to play out. The boys from Unlimited now beginning to make their way into that spot within the zone. 03 is also beginning to get into the action right there against the boys from Zero. Boys from Zero trying as much as possible to keep their hopes alive for this one, but Shiva and the boys putting in the work. They're getting the knocks and eliminations coming through. It drops 1, he drops 2, and they do send them out. Make quick work of the team right there. Just look at how many eliminations the boys from OG are currently holding. They do have 7 of those eliminations coming through, but all 3 brothers have not been able to get the winner with the chicken dinner yet, but we know what they're capable of. In this game, there are about 8 teams left. Might just be the game where they finally grab that winner chicken dinner. We'll see how it continues to progress. But now we turn our sights onto the boys from Platinum Power as they do get 1 knock coming through onto the boys from Unlimited. And it looks like they want to push this. They want to continue to put down the onslaught onto this team as they're sending shots their direction. They're currently sitting down in this one with a full squad, and it looks like they might just be hopping in the vehicle looking to pull up onto that region. They obviously be favor getting themselves into a good spot within that zone. Now 03 also coming into the mix of things as they do take down one of the players right there from Icon. And everyone's trying to find themselves a good spot. And about some 03 just coming in on ground with about some Dream Team right there within the vicinity in front of them. And it's really dangerous situations for everyone. Dream Team right in front of that situation. And right now with that zone shift takes the boys from 03 and Dream Team within that center. Is this the moment where the boys from 03 step things up, take on that position where the boys from Dream Team are currently situated at and hold on to that center circle? We'll see how it continues to favor all of these guys, but in the meantime, turn on sights onto the boys from PLATANO Power, who have several different teams in front of them. They've got the boys from OG, who will be looking to see if they can get themselves into some serious fight right here as the shots are being let loose. It's flying the direction of the boys from PLATANO Power. Lance and the boys not being able to put in the work as expected in this game. Not gone down, but Tilly will find a way to continue to fight it out. We know he won the election. He can definitely do this. ATROX are pulling up onto this one like bend of the dang. They want to get those eliminations coming through. There's also the boys from PLATANO Power who in a mix of things. You can see that Tibu is trying to see if he can take down Cole. With Tinubu knocked down, it's just left with Cole to somehow hold on to their life for the boys from OG. Or will he be able to get that revive? Does look like he tries as much as possible to see if he can evade the shots coming through. Yes, PLATANO Power. He does a whole lot of damage onto them. And it will definitely be TV winning that fight to the boss from PLATANO Power. Do send the boss from OG back into the lobby. And that means now that we're left with about 6 teams. But before the boys from OG left this one, they were down with 9 bits of eliminations to their name, with 10 actually bits of eliminations to their name. All right, here we're currently seeing how things are going on. The boys from ATROX are still in this one. The boys from NSP are sitting down with 4 eliminations. The boys from PLATANO Power are sitting down with 6, and they'll be looking to see if they can rack up those points to contend on that entire leaderboard. Dream Team with 0 eliminations of their own, but we'll see how it continues to build out for all of these guys. ATROX not too far away from the boys from Unlimited as Aimbot, living up to his name, continuing to send on shots on that direction of the players from Unlimited. But carrying all of those shots coming through, obviously several different teams will be edging quite closer and closer to see if they can do some damage of their own. Sitting down quite quietly outside that zone is the boys from O3. They'll be looking to see if they can make their move into their zone as well. And everyone's now beginning to take on their action as they have seen the opportunity to push into that zone. The boys from O3 have got to basically just move through the boys from Dream Team right in front of them. This is where they've got to take on the action. Shifa and his boys have got to make them move. They've got to get into a good spot within that zone. We'll continue to keep an eye and see how that does build out. Dream Team getting hurt at several different spots as they do have that player Rash sent down back to pretty much what is 1 HP, but they find themselves in a good spot as they come into that center circle. Rash continues to send on shots the way of the boys from O3 as they're all making the rotations into that spot within that zone. But one of the players does get dropped is Lab Beast, who does get knocked down to the ground. But now with the revive coming through, might just work out for them. But ATROX, who was looking like they were quite leading the park with the numbers right here, have now come into this final circle. They've lost 2 of the members. It is just Valeria and Aimbot left to somehow keep their hopes alive in this game, as the boys from PLATANO Power will be looking to see if they can pull up onto this particular location and take out the boys from ATROX. And the shots are beginning to fly. They're beginning to let loose as PLATANO Power is edging quite closer and closer into this fight. But there's also the boys from O3 who are coming into the mix of things, letting the shots fly and let loose onto the boys from Dream Team, and it is a 5-way fight coming through between all of these teams. The boys from PLATANO Power are leading the charge right there. They've got themselves a whole bunch of eliminations to come through to keep their hopes alive in this particular game. We'll see what that does mean for all of these guys. But here comes PLATANO Power. Here comes ATROX. Here comes O3. Getting that elimination. And PLATANO Powers looking like they were quite strong in this particular game. Down to 1 HP. He does get a knock onto Labis. The boys from 03 have not got themselves taken out at all. But ooh, look at that one. Look at that one. Nexus able to fight it out for his team. 2 of his members got knocked down, but he was able to get that final elimination to take out the boys from PLATANO Power from the game. And somehow ATROX have managed to hang on to their life in this one. You can see Aimbot trying the most possible to see if he can get that revive coming through. But here comes a player right there from Dream Team. It is Lazy who comes through in this position. Ooh, Aimbot looking to see if he can get that knock coming through. He goes for that elimination. Now here's where the smokes are definitely going to be needed. ATROX somehow keeping their hopes alive in this game. Is they're down with 2 players. They're pretty much in a situation where it's wait, how many? Yeah, it's a 2v4v3 with 3 players. The Dream Team, as you can see right there, one of the players from ATROX took out one of the members right there from Dream Team. If not, Dream Team would have been coming into this final zone with a full squad. But it is 03 season. They're coming in right there. They've got 10 eliminations to the name. It is the boy Shiva sitting down as the MVP of this one. He's got 5 eliminations to count. And right now, the boys from 03 have been triggered. The champions in Nigeria are going absolutely nuts. They're going absolutely crazy. The Nigerian team sending on shots onto the boys from ATROX, and they do take down the South African counterparts. Now turn the sights onto another Nigerian team, the boys from Dream Team. And I'm going absolutely wild. This is where the boys from 03 brothers, they're quite aware of the capabilities of the boys from Dream Team. They're going up against the guys who are the compatriots, and they are sending them down. And that will be the end for the boys from Dream Team in that one, as the boys from 03 brothers do get themselves the maximum eliminations in this game. They get 14 of those eliminations to send through all of these teams. And absolutely outstanding gameplay coming through from all of these guys, as the boys from 03 brothers will be getting themselves 25 of those eliminations in this day so far. So thank you to all of the guys who were watching. My eyes is a bit red. I don't want y'all guys focusing on that. But I just want to say thank you to all of the guys who were watching, who supported. It has been an amazing day. We're going to wait for the leaderboard and see if that is going to be ready yet. I do believe the boys from 03 will find themselves all the way up on this and at the top of that leaderboard after this performance, or at least if they're not all the way up on that leaderboard, they will find themselves in that with 25 points. They should find themselves in top 3, or maybe in 4th place. We'll see what that means at the end of the day. But definitely they will be in contention to grab home that win for the Clatter of Clans season 17 with the performance that they've put on today. We'll just wait to see, things getting updated. I'm just gonna take a look and check, with the guys and see, hey, is the leaderboard ready? We'll see. All right, so Jesse says, I delivered my polling units. I'm not sure what that means, but that's a very funny thing to say. But I think he's talking about the live leaderboard. All right, so the live leaderboard here, was put together by, a very amazing team alongside with several amazing tools called Birdsider. So if you're looking to, have a stream that looks like it is got the esports API. We don't have the API. We don't have it. You'll be very surprised to know that a lot of this real-time data is coming from, people behind the scenes doing the work to get you that data. Yeah, there's a lot of people putting in the work right there on the back end to make sure that they're collating that data quite well, and that's exactly what's happening. So if you want to if you've got a stream and you need the boys to pull up, you got the moolah, call us and we'll handle your production and we'll do it quite well for you, without the APIs. You don't need to have the APIs. We can still get it done. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much what it is. So check out both sides as well, and we'll continue to, see how we can improve the stream. Tomorrow is the final day, so we're going to see at the end of 4 games tomorrow who remains on top of the entire leaderboard. Okay, who does remain on top of the entire leaderboard at the end of the day tomorrow? Is it going to be the boys from TERRORSIX Esports, or is it going to be teams like ATROX? Is it going to be PLATANO Power, or is it going to be the boys from 03? Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. So we'll take a quick break right now, and we'll be right back for some more action. In about 3 minutes, we're probably going to see the leaderboard. So I'm not going to go anywhere until the leaderboards are ready. Right back. Okay? Right back. All right, guys, so we're back with the updated leaderboard. So who's on top? Are your hearts beating? Okay, your hearts beating for who you think is going to be, on top of the entire leaderboard. Who do you guys think is going to be rocking that #1 spot? Can go. Let's look. All right, so rocking that #1 spot at the end of the day, it is the boys. It is the boys from PLATANO Power who have now snatched home that #1 spot, and are currently leading the charge. But just behind them, it is the boys from Team ATROX, with TERRORSIX losing their spots, going all the way down 2 places. And also on their tails is the boys from 03 Brothers. So all of them are just separated by 11 points right there. And we're curious to see who does take home the prize pool, that maximum prize pool in the #1 spot at the end of the games tomorrow. Tomorrow, I do believe I'm going to be joined by Priest. We're going to be taking you through and walking through all of the games, the 4 games of the night. So don't miss any of the action coming through. It has been a grateful one coming in from me, Act Fire. And I'll catch you guys same time tomorrow. See you then.